Hi, I'm Melanie from Running to Health, and I thought that I would do a wee short video about sciatica and what you can do stretch-wise to help with that. The reason that I have decided to do this is I've got a number of clients that actually suffer from this problem, and so I thought I would show the stretches so that you can replay and replicate them at home. So the first thing people usually do when they have pain is to stop, and with sciatica that's definitely not the right way to go about it, because what you need to be doing is physical therapy sort of thing, because what you are trying to do is restore movement and restore function. So stopping doing that is going to have the opposite effect. What you need to actually do though is you need to listen carefully to your body and notice what makes things worse and what makes things better, because it's very different for each client. So for example, you want to pay attention to when you're sitting straight up, when you're sitting with a slight recline, and to see which one gives you more or less relief, whether you've got your knees high and tucked in or whether having them further out is better. And the things you sort of want to be avoiding is bending at the waist, lifting things out at arm's length, and legs out in front of you and elevated. Those sorts of things usually cause the biggest trouble. But I'm going to show you 6 basic stretches that you can do in the comfort of your own home that should help with relief. Okay, so the first one I am going to start with is the sitting pigeon pose. Now this one is the one you need to start with if you're in the most pain. So you start it lying on the ground. Bring the knee up to right angles, hands behind your knee, and pull it in, keeping your knee at right angles, and in. And you want to do it with both legs. And in. Okay. Now once you can do that previous one without any pain, then you need to come up to sitting. But if you can't do that previous one without any pain, don't do this one. So now you bring your knee up over the opposite, your foot over the opposite knee, foot over the opposite knee, keeping your knee at right angles, and you pull it in. It's the same as when you were lying on the floor, but now you're sitting up. And you can do it both sides, like that. Okay, stage number 3, forward pigeon pose. You need to have done the previous 2 and make sure they're pain-free before we carry on with this one. So you start on your knees, like this. Take one foot in, take the other foot back there. Your toe is still, let me move up, hooked under, your knee is not on the floor. And then you sit back, so that your weight is going back onto this leg and off your hands, like that. Hold for 15 to 30 seconds. Obviously for that previous one, do it on both sides. So this one, you'll now knee to shoulder. So you're back on the floor, lying on your back, and you take your knee straight up in the position you were in for number 1, and then you pull it across without moving your hips. So your hips should still be square on the ground and your knee is coming across. Obviously do that both sides. Both sides. Okay, this is a sitting spinal stretch. Now sciatic pain is caused when the vertebrae compress. This one helps to put the gaps back in. So take your foot, put it outside the other knee. You're going to push this knee that way. You're going to look that, like that. Pulling that way. Opposite direction, pulling that way, looking that way. All right, last one is hamstring stretch. Now, hamstring stretches are important because sciatica does cause tightening of the hamstrings. So you need to stretch these out too. So, foot on elevated surface, toe pointing upwards, and reach down for your foot, shoulders facing that way with two hands, because that stretch is nowhere near as good as that stretch. Make sure your knee stays straight. If you can't reach your toes, come back up your legs so you can comfortably reach and your knee stays straight. And do both sides. Now, like I said, there is no one size fits all with sciatica, and it's different for each person, and what helps is different for each person too. So try them and move the positions around slightly, sitting up, lying down, how far away your knees are from your chest, that sort of thing, and just notice what works better for you and adjust it as necessary.